Tai Chi walking. Introduction. Foot placement. First, we're going to choose an environment that's quiet and peaceful, or where we won't be disturbed. Busy city environments are appropriate, and I've done that before. But it's certainly nice when you can get into a quiet space where you can practice peacefully without distraction. Tai Chi walking meditation is the foundation of Tai Chi practice and gets your feet in the right place at the right time. So let's get started. Feet are always going to be about shoulder width apart, and they're going to always end up in what's known as a bow stance. A bow stance means your feet aren't on a tightrope like this, but they're always about 2 fist widths apart. If I play with this stick here, it's about 2 fist widths apart, and you can see how my feet maintain that distance. Generally, the feet, as far as distance apart, do I take a really long step or a shorter step? Most people find it comfortable to keep the feet about shoulder width apart, and that's kind of how big you should step. Of course, if you're doing different kinds of training, you're younger, you can sink lower. Here. Okay, stepping. So, turn the foot out, 45 degrees. Other foot comes in next to the heel. And step out. Shift the feet. Step out, 45 degrees. This foot, right foot comes in. And we're going to step. I haven't shifted the weight. My weight's still on my back leg. Now, we shift. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bow stance. Feet not on a tightrope. About shoulder width apart. And my weight is 70% on the front, 30% on the back. Shift. All my weight on the left foot. Foot comes in, sweeps out. Foot facing forward. Shift the weight. Checking my stance. And there you have it. That's the foot placement. 1, 2, 3, shift. 1, 2, 3, shift. 1, 2, 3, shift. 1, 2, 3, shift. So good. That's the basic stepping movement. Again, we're keeping the weight. All the weight's on the back foot. This is just a feeler, feeling out. Okay, it's safe. I'm not going to get hit. There's not any loose rocks there. So, okay, shift the weight. Couple things. Knees aren't too far out. Knees aren't too far in. Not too far forward. Not too far back. Always slightly bent over the center of the foot. As if riding a horse. And this idea of riding a horse is really about even engagement on the inside and the outside of the legs. Other principles, ideally we're on flat ground, our gaze even with the horizon line, staying at just about the same height, and moving at the same pace, smoothly like a yellow river. smoothly like the Yellow River, which is the biggest, widest river in China, one of the longest in the world. And that's the Tai Chi walking. Ideally, practice 20 minutes a day for best result, or at the very least, try to get 3 times a week for 20 minutes. You'll find as you practice this more and more, your awareness while walking, while moving, of how to be optimally engaged improves. The last piece is the hands, or second to last piece, hands. We won't get to that yet. Really focus on just getting the feet in the right place. If you can focus on engaging the legs, opening up the toes to open up the foot, to expand the surface tension throughout the legs. If you're just starting, completely ignore everything I'm saying. Get the feet placement right first. If you're more advanced, you can also remember we want this tailbone always tucked, and we want the chin slightly tucked as well. The chin slightly tucked engages the back of the neck. That allows you to move the neck as one unit over the spine, which opens a point on the top of the head and allows, when the whole spine is active, that allows you to feel the tailbone, which relaxes, opening up the breath into the pelvic bowl, which warms up the hips and all the tendons and ligaments there, and allows energy to sink back down into the legs. So that's the Tai Chi walking. You may want to watch this video 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, maybe 10 times. Yeah, eventually it'll become a little voice that nags you, and it'll stop nagging once you get all these things as habit, as tends to happen when you're regular with a practice. And then you'll feel lighter, more aligned, stronger, more balanced, just a bird, probably add 10 years to your life. Tai Chi walking, postscript. Many people are curious about the breathing. Well, a wise woman once told me, or shared, who I was teaching alongside, and she said, "Let your body breathe for you." And I have found this to be an invaluable affirmation. Just focus on the movement. Let your body breathe for you. If you're doing it slow, you keep your focus simple. Just 1 or 2 things at a time. Your breath will naturally sink into the lower abdomen, become even and regulated. Just focus on the movement. If you're moving smoothly, your focus is simple. You may notice that as you bring your foot in, gathering, there's a natural desire to inhale. And as you step down, expressing, there's a natural desire to exhale. You may find if you slow things down or speed them up, you breathe at a different pace than your movement. If you were to force the breath and turn it into a point of meditation, which might be good during the fall time, the season of metal, whose organ is the lungs and large intestine, you would consider breathing in as the foot comes up and breathing out as the foot comes down. Or you might choose simply to spend more time noticing the breath, observing how it naturally responds to different kinds of bringing in and relaxing out movements. Last but not least, the hands. They can be gently relaxed at the sides, or you can hold them in stationary positions for about a minute at a time. I have specially designed Tai Chi music that has a bell timer every 1 minute, and you may use that to regulate your sense of time. So if you're choosing to hold your hands in stationary positions, it doesn't really matter where, it just matters that they're gently engaged so that the upper body is getting some of the circulation that the lower body is receiving. Then as we get more advanced, we start to study the Tai Chi movements. We will be combining the hands and the feet. But for now, don't worry about it or engage them just enough to keep the upper body engaged. And always remember to breathe. Good. This has been a video production by Essence of Tai Chi, Tai Chi Walking Basics. Happy practicing. Be well. Have fun. And as always, reach out with your questions. Post them in the comments below.